Do you apologize when someone else bumps into you in the grocery store? Do you feel a strange vibrating pang of guilt for simply taking up space in a crowded room? Or perhaps, when a friend asks you where you want to eat, does your mind go completely blank because you have trained yourself to have no preference? You might think you are just exceptionally polite. You have been told your whole life that you are the nice one, the easygoing one, the one who never causes a fuss. But sometimes, nice is just a heavy coat we wear to keep the cold out. Your nervous system is doing something brilliant and exhausting. It is trying to keep you safe in the only way it knows, by making you small, agreeable, and indispensable. In psychology, we often talk about fight and flight. We understand the lion and the gazelle, but there are other responses to danger. There is freeze, and there is fawn. Fawning is the appeasement response. It is the biological directive to merge with the needs of others to avoid conflict. If fight is the wolf and flight is the bird, fawn is the chameleon changing its colors to match the branch. It is evolutionary camouflage. If you grew up in an environment where the emotional climate was unpredictable, where a parent was volatile, or where love was conditional on your performance, your brain learned a hard lesson very early. Being authentic is dangerous. Being agreeable is safe. Self-expression risks rejection. Self-abandonment guarantees connection. So, you survived. You became a master of reading rooms and managing egos. But now, as an adult, those survival mechanisms have become a cage. Today, we are going to gently peel back the layers of 7 common, nice habits that are actually echoes of that old survival strategy. Habit number 1. The preemptive apology. Sorry, can I just squeeze past? Sorry, I might be wrong, but sorry for bothering you. Notice how often the word sorry leaves your mouth when no offense has been committed. You apologize not because you have done harm, but to soften the ground before you even step on it. You are de-escalating a conflict that hasn't even happened yet. For the traumatized nervous system, any assertion of self, even just walking down a hallway or sending an email, feels like an act of aggression. You feel an inherent guilt for existing. The sorry is a peace offering handed to a world you perceive as inherently hostile. You are trading your right to occupy space for a temporary feeling of safety. You are saying, I know I am here, and I am sorry for the inconvenience of my existence. Habit number 2, the inability to say no, the resentment trap. We often call this people-pleasing, but that term is too soft. It's actually fear-based complying. When someone asks a favor and your stomach drops because you don't have the capacity, why does yes tumble out of your mouth anyway? Because in your past, no was a dangerous word. No led to rejection, anger, or the silent treatment. No severed the attachment bond. So you learn to barter your energy for connection. But here's the cost. You overcommit, you burn out, and eventually you feel a dark, simmering resentment toward the people you are helping. You feel used, even though you handed them the permission slip to use you. You abandon yourself so that others won't abandon you. Habit number 3, over-explaining and over-justifying. If you ask for a simple day off, do you offer a 5-paragraph essay justifying why you need it? When you make a minor mistake, do you provide a complete timeline of events, texts, and timestamps to prove your intentions were pure? This is the courtroom in your head. You are forever on trial, and you believe the jury is out to get you. You are terrified of being misunderstood. Deep down, there is a core wound that says, If they misunderstand me, they will stop loving me. So you over-explain to manage the other person's perception. You try to control their internal thoughts with your words. You are trying to prove desperately that you are a good person. But healthy relationships don't require a defense attorney. They require trust. Habit number 4, the rescuer role. You are the one everyone calls in a crisis. You are the unpaid therapist for your friends. You feel an intense magnetic pull towards broken people, fixer-uppers, or those in chaos. This is often labeled as high empathy, and you are empathetic, but we have to look at the engine driving that empathy. Often, this is high-functioning codependency. Focusing on someone else's chaos is a convenient way to avoid looking at your own internal stillness. It is vicarious self-soothing. You project your need for care onto them. You save them because you wish someone would save you. And there's a darker side to this. If you are the rescuer, you are indispensable. If they need you, they can't leave you. It is a strategy to ensure security through dependency. Habit number 5, hypervigilance, or reading the room. You walk into a party, and within 10 seconds, you know who is tense, who is drinking too much, who is lonely, and who is about to start an argument. You are a human barometer for emotional pressure. You track the footsteps of your partner to gauge their mood before they even open the door. This feels like a social superpower. You might pride yourself on being intuitive, but this intuition was born out of necessity. If you grew up in a volatile home, you had to predict the weather inside your living room to survive it. You learned to read micro-expressions, shifts in tone, and body language before the storm broke. You are still scanning the horizon for danger, even when the sky is clear. It is exhausting to be the weather station for everyone else's emotions. Habit number 6, hyper-independence. I'll just do it myself. I'm fine. I don't need anything. You struggle desperately to ask for help, even when you're drowning. When someone offers support, you feel a spike of anxiety or your skin crawls. You view dependency as weakness. This looks like strength. It looks like capability, but often it's a trauma response to broken trust. At some point, depending on others proved unsafe. Maybe help came with strings attached, a debt that would be called in later. Or maybe you cried out for help and nobody came. So you built a fortress. You decided that if you never need anyone, you can never be let down. The drawbridge is up. It's lonely inside, but at least it's predictable. Habit number 7, minimizing your needs, the low-maintenance myth. You are low maintenance. You don't care where you eat. You don't need gifts. You don't want to be a bother. You make yourself as small and frictionless as possible. You have internalized the belief that having needs is burdensome. Perhaps you were a parentified child, where your parents' needs took up all the oxygen in the room, leaving none for you. You learned to condense yourself, to take up as little space as possible. You believe that if you ask for nothing, you will be safe. But the tragedy is that by asking for nothing, you get exactly what you ask for. You become invisible, even to yourself. If you see yourself in these habits, I want you to take a deep breath. Do not judge yourself. There is no shame here. These habits are not flaws. They are scars. They are evidence that you survived something difficult. Your nervous system did exactly what it was designed to do. It protected you so you wouldn't get hurt. It worked. You are here. Thank your system for its service. It worked hard for you for a long time. But look around. You are an adult now. The environment has changed. The predators of your past are no longer in the room. You are safe enough now to stop fawning. You are safe enough to exist without apology.
It takes time to recalibrate a nervous system that has been set to appease for decades. Be patient with yourself. Start small. Say no to something tiny, like a coffee order you don't want. Take up a little more space on the subway bench. Let someone misunderstand you and notice that the world doesn't end. You don't have to be the nice one anymore. You can just be you. And that is enough.